Guten Morgen zusammen. Ich denke, die meisten, die hier sind, kennen Mataji schon. Wir machen eine ganz kurze Ansage, nur weil wir sind spät in der Zeit und danach kommt gleich die nächste Veranstaltung. Mataji hat ein Buch über ihr Leben geschrieben, das heißt Tears of Bliss. Und das gibt es bald auch auf Deutsch und das ist bezeichnender Titel, finde ich, für ihr Leben. Für die letzten 40 Jahre in Indien. Und sie wird jetzt ein bisschen was von ihrem Leben über das spirituelle Leben erzählen. Mataji.
Sitting in the meditative posture, holding the spine straight and stretched out. Awareness is on the breath, deep inhalation and long exhalation. We have this beautiful chance of celebration of yoga. A celebration of the spirit, of the light, of wisdom, of beauty, of the realization of our true self, our real nature, living the best of our potential is immense blessing. What you're taking part in is when the human being is evolving into a higher level of consciousness. You have experienced this world is certainly the biggest mystery what is ever possible. And this mystery of this universe is beautiful in the lowest as it is in the highest. Every level of life has its beauty, its wonder, its mystery. So that means or seems that at this moment of our level of consciousness, we are starting to experience life as the growth, as a beautiful journey from gross to light, to the subtle, from the dark, the desolation, misery, bondage, to the hope, the courage, the uplifting to higher levels and heights, unknown heights of happiness. A new spirituality is coming to us through the grace of yoga. The yoga which is based on the scriptures of the yogis, of these compassionate souls who have sacrificed life and lives in austerity and meditation to bring the message of truth down to the earth, down to the gross level of human life. And this, today maybe we have the chance to celebrate this festival, this new birth into spiritual life. We feel that there is another dimension, in the name of God, in the name of Krishna, and the breath, a new chance of our life has started. We are in a break. The darkness, of grayness, dissolution, hopelessness, confusion of tamas seems to be left behind. And this we have to understand. Darkness doesn't last. Maybe neither light doesn't last. To go to the supreme essence. where darkness has light and light has darkness, where the two opposites are only one part of the same mystery of divine unity, of that puzzle what we have to understand and to solve in our human life. Human life is as a passage. We are half torn down by our animal nature, the gross nature, the senses, the lower centers, the attachments, the anger, the pleasure, the fight, the ego. And slowly, yoga teaches us, in 1 second, take the break. Take the awareness from the outside to your inside. And the magic appears, because everything what you're looking for, you have already inside. You don't have to buy anything. Don't have to get anything. You don't have to learn anything. How simple, how beautiful. And this is the grace what we are experiencing. And what all the scriptures say, human being is just a potential, is just a beautiful chance to lift yourself up to the spirit, to the truth of this life. Shed illusion, darkness, ignorance, and the light of wisdom will just come to yourself. And in yoga we experience there is something deep inside what makes you completely safe, secure, complete from inside. And this is this magic of spirituality. With one breath, we breathe in this light of the universe. And as soon as we're becoming spiritual, that means refined in our perception, we become more purified. Just like nature, it is gross in the earth, but the higher levels of consciousness arising over the waters, over the air, over the space, to the light of wisdom, to the light of the sun. And this light is transformed not in just the sun of a planet, it's the sun of wisdom, the sun of happiness, the sun of your own beauty, the sun of consciousness. And there we are, that we are experiencing yoga as a secret knowledge, secret because it cannot be seen by the senses. It can only be perceived from your inner being. And therefore, yoga turns this physical life with all its beauty, but all its risk of misunderstanding, of bondage, of desires, of confusion. We turn it, shut it, leave it to the outside. And without leaving the world, we are just looking at the world in a different aspect. This is the whole secret. We are seeing by going inside the world from the inside. And the scriptures said, Raja Yoga, just become the witness. Don't involve yourself, otherwise you fall under the traps of desire, likes and dislike. Detach yourself and stay inside and the peace of your own being. Rest in yourself and watch, enjoy. Stay in the world with the grace of the witness. Is only possible if you take the awareness from the outer world to your inside and seeing the world from your inner eye. Therefore, fulfillment of spiritual life is the opening of the Avya Chakra. the eye of vision, the eyebrow center, seeing the truth, seeing not the outer limitations and bondage, but seeing its true nature, seeing its meaning, opening to wisdom, seeing its purpose, seeing its energy, not the reaction of energy. So therefore, to experience this highest, what we can experience in human life, are the higher centers of spirituality. And these higher centers, what we call secret knowledge, which is that key which opens the door to that what is our ideal. After that we don't know of anything better. We call it heaven, we call it liberation, we call it light, we call it God, we call it just this completeness of this experience of completeness. And this key is yoga, the secret knowledge, the mantras, the gurus. Therefore, whenever you start, and you have a lot of Ooms at this festival, it lives from Om. It is supported by Om. Om is our breath, the manifestation of our exhalation, the first beautiful manifestation of our exhalation should be the Om. Early in the morning, your first breath should be the Om. Between the day, between your troubles, remember the Om, and the tension, blockages will disappear, light will come. And in the evening, before you are falling into unconsciousness, into the darkness, who knows who will get up, who knows what dreams will come to protect you. It's the Om. All the scriptures, all the Vedanta, you can say 1,000 words, you can say big books of the knowledge of life, but in the Vedic tradition we say, from all the words, I am the Om. It contains everything. So with all this simplicity, we know nothing, we know so little, but it is not necessary. Know the Om and know all. Know the breath and be all. Know the Spirit and live all. So therefore, we take this grace of the mantra to bring our energies inside. Take it from the outer world to your inner being and open your inner eye and live not in the senses, but in the awareness of the senses, in the awareness of everything there in the world. Even the good and the bad loses its horror if it is seen from the inner peace, from the inner detachment, from your inner spiritual life. So try to relax, hold the position, and open yourself like a lotus flower to receive the nectar of this universe. It is not in anybody's hands, but this mystery of the cosmos of wisdom is given to us. But we can try by opening our senses, our inner being, that this message of truth can and is already inside us, but it must be rediscovered and realized. So feel that the Om is like the opening of your lotus flower, the opening of your being to receive the nectar of spirituality, which joins your inner being and the realization of happiness, harmony is experience. What is religion? What is God? Just to feel good. What is a great saint? Just he is in bliss. And this bliss and light spreads to the outer world. And you have no question anymore. The problems have been solved. It's not necessary to know anything. What is necessary? Knowledge, achievement, success, or your inner happiness. Certainly it is a simplicity, what we experience by going inside. So simple. The more simple, the less mind. The less mind, the less intellect. The less intellect, the less problems. So take this wonderful key and use it. Use it to open your life to new spirituality. Inner listening. Satoma Satgamaya Tam Soma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Apritam Gamaya. Eternal Vedic ancient prayer, lead us from falsehood to truth, from the darkness of illusion to the light of wisdom, from the mortality of the body to the immortality of the soul. And there we are, in this small and basic understanding of spirituality. Call it mysticism. It is this change from the gross to the subtle, where the breath is a bridge. It links our individual soul with the Supreme Soul, called yoga, reunion, the complete harmony of what is. And this harmony can only be if we bring it to a oneness. And therefore the understanding or the end of the misunderstanding comes when we turn to spirituality, to yoga. Not that spirituality is something out of the world, something that is not seen, does not exist. On the contrary, it is the real energy of this universe. But we are so deep involved in nature and still in the depth of the dark age that we are eluded. We are fallen in the illusion that what we can touch is real and what we cannot touch doesn't exist. But this, don't think, is not real. It is only a phase of evolution. Like we are coming from the light of consciousness. And the light of consciousness has manifested in the elements, in our intelligence, in our ego, in the mantra, in the elements of space, air, fire, water, and earth. Earth is the last darkness of manifestation, the last denseness of all the elements. And we have the pleasure to are a compound of these elements. But that doesn't mean that you are only earth. We are also space. We are also air. We are also knowledge. We are also bliss, the higher ascendants. But it is evolution. The animal thinks I am only the body. And until you are eating, drinking, procreation, defense and attack, nothing wrong with the animal life. Nothing wrong with sensual awareness. But think it is just a progress, a process from the dark to the light, from the denseness of spirituality manifested in the senses, in matter. And this matter is transferred through the path of yoga, through the mantras, through the prana, into light. So we are in this process. We say this time is at the end of it can't get any darker. But we are already the messengers of light. We have got the grace through long, long suffering. We have finally are living our pure nature. We have reached and found in yoga a solution. Not a momentary solution like everything in the world or in materialism. It is an eternal solution because it is the eternal truth. And this truth is self-realization. Realization that you are not the body, but you are. Call it God, call it the Spirit, call it light, call it beauty, call it the happiness from inside, the harmony. And there is this wonderful change, what we are going through. Yoga, when we are leaving the illusion of the matter, that we are the body, and turning, that we are coming from consciousness and going back to consciousness. Nothing against matter. The wonderful compassion of God is that everything goes in a circle. We are very deep in the senses, enjoy the senses, but they don't last. So by itself, the wheel of time, of evolution, lifts you up to renunciation, to wisdom, to the spiritual. And if you're too much in the spirit, you go back to materialization. So what is the body? What is matter? What is this universe? It's a manifestation of light. Our body is a manifestation, the form of the soul. So there's no aversion against the body. It should be just the most beautiful manifestation of truth on earth. And therefore, this transformation takes place as soon as we turn to the Spirit. We call it the invisible, the untouchable, that what cannot be seen, is hidden to the human eye, is hidden to our perception, a mystic, that what is mysterious, what cannot be known. And it's strange that we are striving for something what never can be known, because this highest secret is beyond our physical body, beyond the mind, beyond our emotions, and therefore it is so beautiful, so mystical, so infinite. If you would know God, He would have an end. You said, tell me the next God, and then the next. Like in the world, you enjoy something and then the next and the next. This is the law of matter. But the law of the Spirit is absolutely infinite. There will never be an end to your inner bliss. It will never exhaust. The peace of your mind, once gained through the path of yoga, will never end. You cannot lose it because it's your own nature. It's self-realization. The only sacrifice what we have to give is a little break from the outer senses to the inner being. Vivekananda, this beautiful manifestation of intelligence, of mind, was asking his guru, can you show me God? Because nobody could tell him who is God, where he is, cannot speak to him. Nobody could answer this question, who is God, where he is, what he is. Only Vivekananda, only Ramakrishna. He said, I see more real than I see you. Wow, that's an answer. And Vivekananda removed all his ignorance. There's somebody who knows. Therefore, we say the one who knows, he doesn't talk. Because that what he knows cannot be put into words. That what he sees is not the body. So therefore he says, but he is realized, enlightened. He sees the true nature, your soul energy. He sees the beauty, the love, the compassion, the truth in a thing, and not the outer, limited, vanishing outer outfit. So therefore, the one who knows, he doesn't talk. Because that, what he tries to put into words, is no more what it is. Because that, what is a spirit, is beyond our words, beyond our intelligence. And therefore, it is mystical because we can't grab it. It is beyond our acceptance. But still, behind the limitation of our intelligence, God has given us perception, experience, to understand something but we could never understand. It goes to the heart. It goes to the feeling of the unspeakable, of the ununderstandable, and therefore the greatest mystics become silent. Because as soon as you say the name of God, is Krishna, is Shiva, is Jesus, your mind starts asking, what Jesus was put to the cross. Krishna is dancing with 16,000 wives. But it's strange. Your mind becomes impure, the limitation starts. Therefore, this beautiful yoga, keep it inside. Keep the mantra, the love inside. Or take it out when you're by yourself, or whenever you are in need of it. Maybe in the middle of the bus, or in the middle of confusion, or when you're in the middle of nowhere, then just go inside and breathe. And know inside is the real caretaker of yourself. We say, each inhalation in Om, each exhalation in Om is liberation. Not 5 or 10, we need more, 50, 100. But 100 Om, or 100 mantras, 100 inhalations and exhalations with Om is already something. And the law of the world takes place. That what you do for this and this time, cause, law of cause and reaction starts. And we can scientifically prove that we are in the spirit. If we stay for even 5 minutes, an hour, in the mantra, in the breath, just with knowing anything about religion or yoga or something, just breathe. Awareness of the breath leads you to the truth. Everything in this world has the truth inside. That is this power, this beauty of God. He put his soul, his energy inside everything what is. So in case we are lost, we can take it out of our own being. In case of confusion and desolation from the world, look deeper. Look all the layers of matter. Look into one thing, a stone, a piece of wood. Look at it and for a long time, and the magic of spirituality starts through the concentration on one object. Through a concentration of one object, your mind becomes one-pointed, dharana. And through dharana, the concentration on one point, all the modifications, distractions of your mind disappear. And this piece of stone, this piece of wood, of paper, a little point in the wall, and you lose yourself and come to the middle of the whole universe. This little point of a ball pen on the wall holds the whole universe inside. How is that possible? This is the power, what has God given us as a grace, that in everything He is Him. He is in everything. He is everything. Let what you see, matter, is just Him. What you see as darkness, as confusion, as low, as dirt, is also Him. So see the true nature of all what is. The night is as much God, or the law of the universe, as the day. And the sun as the darkness, as death is, as is life. So if you get these two ends together, we have to. Otherwise we fall always into duality. And duality is suffering. And oneness is wisdom. Therefore, we are celebrating yoga in all its stages. And we have reached in our evolution a time we are slowly going over the physical process of yoga. We call it asana, yoga praxis, breathing exercise. As we know according to Ashtanga, is just the third and the fourth part of the ladder. It is the physical parts too. But slowly, the light, the experience of another kind of happiness comes to us through the purification of our body, our mind. Heart yoga teaches us, purify your body, purify your breath, and the mind by itself will become purified. If the mind is purified, we are able to reach and come to see the essence of what is, to see right illumination. Put the light on and we see right. Put the dark on and there's fear. Maybe a snake, maybe a thief, maybe a hole in the ground. So illumine yourself through yoga and live in the light. And live in this immense reality of spirituality. Is this knowledge of the soul energy or whatever you like to call it. But it's certainly not matter. Or matter if it becomes a manifestation of the spirit. We come from the illusion and have go to the process of realization. And what is realization? What is the greatest enlightenment of the yogi? That he sees that the world is God. There's nothing else than God. That the manifested matter is also the spirit. And then the two ends come together. And the body is no more a filthy field of complications and desires and passions. It is a temple which houses the sanctum, the soul, the light inside. But this is the path of yoga, the purification what we are going through. And therefore the knowledge, the scriptures, the mantras, so immense important. They are magic, they are keys. Don't miss them. Otherwise you will fall into illusion. The chair is a chair, the stone is a stone, the good man is a good man, the bad man a bad man. But if you come to the realization that everything is just an expression of this light, and it is not a person, it's God. And this is the whole secret of a saint, of a mystic. He sees everything from this reality of the divine light. He sees in everything love. He is love because his ego has dissolved into unselfishness. And therefore we see what is the difference between a worldly person and a saint. The saint is an illumined, enlightened person. That means all the darknesses of illusion, ignorance, anger, fear, jealousy, greed have disappeared. The scriptures tell us this. But these lower energies are darknesses. They were not created. They are criticized and experienced as limitations, as bondage. So if we remove these lower limitations of our being, mainly greed, passion, anger, ego, if these go away, and yoga, this is beautiful teaching, go away from your personal life. Leave it outside of the yoga hall. Leave it there in the world for the moment. And just breathe. Come to your own being. And all of a sudden, all the dependency on other people, which are so immense, stressing and confusing and making us unsecure. Why? Be still, happy in yourself. Living in the self, through the self, by the self. Being satisfied with nothing else than your own light inside. And it is more, a bigger treasure than anything of the world. So therefore, the message, purify your being. Stay on the path of yoga. We have to do something for this better life. We do so much for our material life. Why not for our peace? What is so much more important? What we should do with all these things if you don't have peace? So therefore, it will be so simple. We will have to work less because we don't have to need so much money. We have all what we have inside. And there, afterwards, don't think you lose something. You will gain the world. For the scriptures say, enjoy and renounce. Enjoy to become a yogi. A yogi in every day, not a yogi in the picture book, but a yogi in your little life, in your little family, in your job. A yogi is the one who has love in the heart, or from the part of wisdom, who sees his own self, his own divine soul energy in everything what is. There are so many consequences. Can you hurt anybody if it is your own self? If it is the highest truth? If it is God himself? Can you have it? You don't have to serve him, to love him. And therefore, we use this to bring the spirituality into your life. Don't think yoga takes you away from your sensual pleasures. It presents you a more bigger treasure of sensuality, of beauty, of love. A love in the higher centers of your being is unlimited. It doesn't know any loss. There's no fear. There's no selfishness inside. So therefore, everything what we are enjoying in the world if it belongs to our material lower centers or lower awareness or limited ignorance, then it is under the law of suffering. But if we purify through knowledge, that's what binds us to the world, attachment, greed, passion, then we can leave it through knowledge of the self. And this self is in the hands of the yogis. And this yoga is coming to you. It searches everywhere. It's not bound to India. It's certainly not bound to the yoga centers. It is already everywhere available in your own heart. So therefore you're carrying everything what you need for your liberation, you're carrying it with yourself. But the scriptures, the praxis, this little time what you are spending for this yoga festival, don't lose it. Therefore we need the constant remembering of the name, the praxis, the sadhana. In the morning, fold your hands. It's a very easy way of starting the day. And it's done, the day is done. If you fold your hands, there's so much devotion in it. You don't need a prayer. You don't need nothing, but just this physical gesture of putting the right side, the left side and the right side together. Bring the duality into oneness. And by itself, you don't have to say a prayer. You don't have to do nothing. Just do it. And for a second, bow your hand. It is necessary for your ego. Or you also can lift it up. It's the same. But the offering and the devotion, the bowing down, is just the same. And therefore, if we do only this, the rest will come. And all of a sudden, if you have no time for meditation, only once a week, or maybe once a month, or once a year in the yoga center, but don't lose this. Once, keep your transformation going, and you have the most simple yoga with you, the breath. Wherever you go, you wait for the bus. You could be angry that the bus is gone and you will be late. But why? Use the time to breathe, to be with God inside. And your breath will harmonize your energies. All the anger that you are late will go. And you will see, if you are late, the one who says, oh, no problem. This is the divine energy. If you are quiet and peaceful and harmonized and full of love, the whole world will change. And there will be no body who scolds you because you are late. But if you are full of fear and anger and confusion, you will be giving leave from your job. But if you stay and use the time of waiting in between two actions and breathe, this little sacrifice is our action on life. We have to do that. Otherwise we will lose ourselves in the senses, in the darkness of illusion. And we know the less we breathe, the less we lose our meditation, because we got involved in action, in the speed. And then we have lost the biggest treasure what we have, our own self. And this self hides. Sometimes God was very much followed, like the saints. Wherever they go, even if they go to say private places, they are followed, or the people are waiting already that he comes out of his private space to catch him, to ask him this and that, to tear him to pieces, or to put him on the cross. But this is not necessary. You have this all inside you. So therefore, this little breath, keep it as the most precious treasure what you have. And the breath can be afterwards transformed in the next step, the mantra. But the breath is already perfect in itself. You don't have to recite to the Hinduism with Om Namah Shivaya, Shri Durgaya Namah. You don't have to. Be simple, be honest, sincere to yourself. Be just what you are. God is everywhere, inside you. Maybe the time is over, but maybe we were able to take a little glimpse of mystery life. No, mystery life is that what makes you spiritual. And this spirituality is refined materialism, and this can be revealed through the purification of your senses. This is a very, 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 very important part. Purification is enlightenment. Purify yourself. Purify your senses. Purify your way of talking, of speech, of looking at things. Look at the right things. Think of the right things. Speak the right things. So we are transforming lower energies with the divine name. Put everything, combine it with Krishna, with Ra, with Om, because it helps us. It is not, the mantras, don't think they don't belong to Hinduism or to India. They are mantras. They are manifestations of God to give liberation. So they have this compound. They don't mean anything. Also in India, they don't mean anything. Meaning makes the mind. But they are everywhere available. They are just openings of the chakras. The Om is universal. It doesn't belong to the East. It belongs to the one who chants it. Therefore God belongs to the one who loves him. And this love needs the practice, our sadhana. We don't know how we don't know God, so how can we love him? But breathing, doing your praxis, and joining praxis with knowledge, scriptures. All the holy name contains all the scriptures. We don't have to learn Sanskrit or read the scriptures, what is not possible. So therefore, keep the knowledge of your biggest treasure is just inside. Just be and know that you're staying with the truth of your nature, with your light inside. Very, very important. Feel that you're changing, going through a transformation. The whole world is going through the transformation, and it will go better. Be on the better part of the wheel. Better because it's more beautiful to stay on the path of wisdom, of knowledge, than to be in the dark part of ignorance. So therefore, we are messengers of love and truth, of yoga, and it is so expanding. Feel you don't have to be miserable. Liberate yourself, and life goes to a higher level. You don't have to be miserable. Feel yourself the bliss of your own being, and you will see all darkness disappears. The world has changed. There is no misery. It's not for you. Terrorism is not for you. You are out of it. You are out of violence, because in your heart is love. So how can you live in war? So therefore, this is all for the one whose heart is in ignorance and violence. He has to suffer. He has to go to the path of purification. But you are on the other part. But don't lose it. The fineness of spirituality is so fine that the harsh word of anger destroys a lot. But still, there's a chance and an option for everything. You can be immune against everything, so that nothing can destroy the light inside you. And therefore, going deep into your own being, and ending the praxis with this beautiful breath, and fill this breath, this and exhalation, with a thanksgiving, with a surrendering, with a sacrifice to the path of light, to the wisdom, the teaching. This teaching will stay with us. Keep with the praxis. And this praxis is not difficult. It's not in the yoga hall. It's not for that and that amount of money. It is just your breath inside. It's just this little devotion, this little folding your hands will be enough to change your life. Now listen. Vanaspataya Shanti Vishwadeva Shanti Brahma Shanti Shanti Sarvagum Shanti Shanti Saiva Shanti Sarva Shanti Re Om Shanti 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 Savarishya Shanti Bhavati. Let there be peace in the solar plane. Let there be peace in the waters, on the earth, in the human beings. May there be peace in the kingdom of the plants, of the grains, of the flowers. Let this peace spread to all the beings in this universe. Let the supreme peace come unto us and be realized. May there be peace which starts from the peace of your own being. Between us, the thanksgiving what comes from your side is my thanksgiving to your side, because without you I cannot express, I cannot share anything. Therefore the thanksgiving is very much from my side.